Hey, welcome back to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins. Today in this video, I want to show you guys how I like to cook a Southwest wild hog burger with a nice, rich, creamy cheese sauce. It's going to have an awesome Southwest flavor profile to it. It's going to be cheesy, it's going to be juicy, it's going to be absolutely delicious. We got some nice cold February rain coming here in New England, so we'll be cooking this burger right on the Weber Q on the back porch. Let's fire this bad boy up.
So here I have some wild boar meat, and I picked these up at my local butcher shop over at Westerly Packing. This is produced by Blackwing Meats. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description for you guys to check out. 1 pound cryovac. Really like this. I like the packaging of it. They do a nice job. And next what I have here is a large white onion, and I got this Mrs. Miller's bacon jam, barbecue bacon jam, and this comes from Amish country in Ohio. I'll put a link to the description of that as well. I got my Sargento authentic Mexican and Velveeta shredded cheese, and then I've got this cactus dust. This is made by the Everglades seasoning. This is going to bring a nice Southwest flavor to the game. And then I've got some La Castagna sliced jalapenos. Bring some heat to the game too. So I got these 2 1-pound slabs of wild hog meat out of the cryovac, and what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to kind of pat them dry a little bit. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust these slabs apart, and what I'm going to do is I'm just form them into about 1/3 pound patties. And so basically to do that, you figure it's a 1-pound slab. What you're going to do is you're just going to pull it apart into about 3 equal portions, and I just ballpark it. If you want to weigh it out, that's fine, but I just want to press it into 1-pound patties, then put a small dimple into the middle of it with my finger, and that just kind of helps it retain its shape a little bit. Burgers have a tendency to puff up. I know beef burgers do, and pork's no different. So by putting a little dimple into the center of it, it just helps it puff up a little bit less. They still puff a tiny bit, but you know, it'll puff up a little bit less than if I just left it alone. So I'll finish pressing these, and then it's time to get them seasoned. So now that I got my 6 burgers pressed, I'm hitting it with some of this cactus dust seasoning by Everglades Seasoning, and I'm giving it a nice even coat. I'm not going too crazy. Remember, I'm not trying to build bark here. I'm just trying to give it a nice southwestern flavor, and the cactus dust totally delivers. I'm going to give it a quick pat and then give this the same treatment on the other side of these patties. And once I get these patties seasoned, I'm going to let them hang out on the plate for anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour. I'm just going to let this cactus dust put that flavor into this wild hog. In the meantime, we're going to make up our cheese sauce. When I make this cheese sauce, I'm using this small pot. I just tossed in 2 tablespoons of butter. And once your butter's melted, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to toss in a couple tablespoons of flour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this and let it cook down into a paste. It's very, very slightly golden brown. I'm doing this over medium heat, and you want to keep a close eye on this because you don't want it to burn. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 cups of milk, and after that, I'm just going to give this a really good mix until it's well incorporated. And then we're going to cook it down and add some cheese. Now that everything's cooked down nice and bubbly and thickened up, we're going to add in 2 cups of cheese. 1 cup of our Mexican blend, another cup of the Velveeta. Now it's time to mix this together and get it nice and melty. Now this here is what I like to see. It's nice and melty. It's ready to drizzle over some burgers. You might have to play with it a little bit throughout the cook, add more milk, add more cheese, that sort of thing. But overall, this is what you're looking for. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to set this aside and keep it warm. Now here in my cast iron, I've got some rendered goose fat that's getting nice and hot. Now you can use whatever you'd like. You could use butter, you could use bacon grease, you could use olive oil, anything like that'll work. But for these rough chopped onions, I'm using some goose fat. It's gonna bring a really awesome flavor profile to these onions. And what you wanna do is you just wanna saute these beauties right down. Wait till they get a nice color on them. And this is what we're looking for right here. It's gonna be awesome. So it's a nice rainy, cold evening in New England tonight, and I've got my little Weber Q fired up on my back deck. I've got these grill grates for any grill flipped over, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to shoot this flat top with a little bit of cooking spray, and just get some oil, some light oil on these grill grates for any grill, flat top style. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these burgers right down. Going to give us a really, really nice crust on each side. Space them apart nice and even. And we're going to let these bad boys roll for quite a while. And when I say quite a while, I start with about 3 to 5 minutes per side, depending on how hot you've got your grill running. Remember, these aren't beef, these are pork, and we want to make sure that we take these to at least 145 internal. So in a few minutes, we'll flip them. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes. Now I'm going to give these bad boys a flip. It's very important with pork to cook it all the way through. It's smelling absolutely awesome, you guys. And look at this crust that we're getting once we flip these burgers over. You know these are going to be awesome. They have some really, really nice crunch on the outside and tender and juicy on the inside. We'll give these a few more minutes, and then we'll be ready to dress them up and eat them. So here I got some brioche burger buns, a nice sweet buttery flavor to them, and you can get these in the bakery section of your grocery store. We've got some more of this goose fat here in the cast iron, and we're going to just grill these buns a little bit until they get a nice color on them. And this is kind of what you're shooting for right here. It's going to be nice and crispy. And now we got to get some burgers on these guys. To begin building these burgers, we're going to hit them with a little bit of the Mrs. Miller's barbecue bacon jam. I'm going to put a good layer on the bottom part of each bun. Spread it right out. Get that bun nice and evenly coated. Next, we're going to layer on these goose fat sauteed onions right over our barbecue bacon jam. Go ahead and set those burger patties right on top of those sauteed onions. Okay, now it's time to cheese up this pig burger. And do not be shy with this cheese. I'm not. There's absolutely no reason to be. I mean, look at it. Look at the way cheese is going on right now. Creamy, melty. It's going to be absolutely killer with these burgers. Now it's time to bring a little heat to the game. Next, all I'm going to do is just put on a couple of these pickled jalapeno slices. I'm just going to put them right on top of the cheese, top them off with a bun, and then it's going to be time to dig in.
Okay, you guys, so here we are. Wild boar burger with some glorious bacon jam and cheese sauce and pickled jalapenos and the sauteed onions and just glorious everything. So, before I dive into this, let's do a quick run through of what I did to get here. So we had our ground wild boar meat. We got those from Blackwing Meats, and I picked those up in my local butcher shop. I'm going to put a link to all these things in the description below so you guys can check them out online. I don't know if they serve in your area. When in doubt, always talk to your local butcher. They are an incredible resource for finding different types of stuff that you might want to try that you don't know, you're unsure of availability, or you've never been able to find it before. Just talk to your local butcher. But anyway, yeah, wild boar ground meat from Blackwing Meats. We have the Mrs. Miller's barbecue bacon jam, and that comes straight from Ohio's Amish country. And then all it was just some pickled sliced jalapenos. You can just go get those in your grocery store. And of course, some brioche buns. These I got at Walmart because I was there and I saw them and I grabbed them. But I mean, if you want to go to a bakery and you really want to go over the top and get some really good brioche, by all means do that. And then our cheese sauce, obviously. Made third-pound patties, seasoned them with the Everglades cactus dust seasoning, let them hang out for about a half hour, let that seasoning start to do some work to the meat. We sauteed some roughly cut onions. We didn't cut these up real fine, we just roughly chopped them up and we sauteed them. I used rendered goose fat. For that flavor, I went with the goose fat. And then we grilled our patties until they got to about 145. To grill these burgers, we used the Weber Q. We had a really lousy day. Today it was some freezing rain and some sleet, and it was just nicer to be able to cook on the back deck using a little Q. We did use grill grates for any grill. We flipped them upside down. We used them as a flat top. Bottoms up, wild boar burger. Oh my God. I don't know if you can see this, but this is glorious. It's a messy one, I'll say that. Oh man. Dude, I think this might be my new favorite burger. This is awesome. Wow. You know, I gotta admit, I was a little nervous about the barbecue bacon jam, because really, by itself, it kind of reminds you of just like a jelly barbecue sauce with a little bit of bacon in there. But when you put it on something, it stands out in a really good way. Cheese sauce is on point. This boar meat is unbelievable. Getting right into the middle of it now. Oh, just picked up a jalapeno. This is awesome. You want to try something different. You want to really blow people's hair back. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. This meat is so juicy. Big home run. Awesome flavor profiles here, guys. This is incredibly good. You just can't beat it. Some of that cheese, jalapenos, and bacon jam. If you like what you see on this channel, please give us a subscribe. Check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Leave your comments in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.